Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate it. Mr. Mathers, EDF is known for its attempt to use market-based policies, it claims, on taxing or increasing costs, fines, whatever, on things that doesn't favor, while decreasing costs on environmentally friendly vehicles or other energy-consuming means. So, do you support the repeal for heavy-duty trucks we're talking about? A federal excise tax has been around since World War I. I'm carrying a bill on this that adds to the cost of heavy-duty trucks, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 as a means of getting more cleaner, more environmentally friendly, cleaner running diesel engines onto our roads.
Thank you for the question, Congressman. I think it'd be great to target that tax break for zero-emission vehicles, right? Zero-emission trucks, and that the focus should be on incentivizing a move to the cleanest technology we have available.
The diesel engines produced these days are much cleaner than the ones that are 10 years old or more.
And yet, there's still significant room for improvement, particularly in the low speed, high idle duty cycles, and that's why the EPA and the California Air Resources Board are currently both working on regulations to further reduce NOx emissions, and we're happy to see that, and it's desperately needed.
Well, there's a time period between now and when this technology becomes available, whether you're talking all electric vehicles or lower NOx or what have you, that people still need to buy and purchase trucks.
Sure.
And upgrade the fleet. California, we see CARB coming down on people right now by January 1. Many trucks are going to be unavailable to folks, so they got to replace them with something. So shouldn't they replace them with the best available technology today? Or do you want to just make them have nothing until then?
So there are, I think that there are programs that exist, such as the Diesel Emissions Reduction Act, through the EPA that, help get dirty diesel trucks off the road, and we fully support that. And I think there's lots of opportunities. I think the question is, where should we target taxpayer money? And I think that is to move forward with really
you made a good point there.
Technology.
This is taxpayer money. These truckers are paying these additional taxes on a vehicle they're trying to replace older vehicles with that are achieving 99% cleaner emissions than one that's 10 or 15 years old. So it is indeed their money. So why aren't they allowed to keep more of their money so they can replace a truck sooner?
Well, I think it's great. It's great to incentivize the advanced technology such as zero emission trucks.
We're not talking zero emission. We're talking extremely low emission available trucks right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. LaMalfa, do you mind if I weigh in on this?
Quickly, please.
I think you're referring to the federal excise tax on. Are you referring to the federal excise tax on the purchase of new trucks and trailers?
Yes, sir.
I see absolutely the merits of your argument in saying that if you eliminate that tax, that there is less of a barrier for trucking companies to purchase new equipment. I would say that is a great argument there. I think the concern for a lot of us in the transportation community is the loss of revenue associated with that tax. So I don't think that a lot of folks in the transportation community are opposed to the elimination of it. It's the fact that it would leave a pretty large gaping hole in highway trust fund revenue.
It's a pretty small percentage of the overall highway trust fund, but it is a big barrier for somebody, especially owner-operators, trying to replace a truck.
Absolutely.
It's only several $1 billion of a giant fund. So you would rather keep that in place to keep a barrier for small operators, especially, to buy these trucks?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we need to be cognizant of making sure that whatever hole that leaves, that it's replaced by some other revenue source. We're already spending about $15 billion a year more from the Highway Trust Fund than we're bringing in revenue. So a change like that, if that increases that delta, which I'm not saying that folks are opposed to, I just think that revenue needs to be replaced in some way, shape, or form.
There's a lot of ways to replace revenue, but certainly sacking the small, or any of these folks, if you all talk about wanting to have cleaner running trucks on the road immediately, especially with CARB coming down on California truckers on January 1, just days away from now, and you make it a much higher bar by having this World War I era tax still in place, then you're not achieving cleaner air. You don't have the electric vehicles that are available in any kind of volume these days, or even seen as viable. You know, maybe in short hauls, short-term use and things like that. But over-the-road trucks still need to have available the current technology that's improved to 99% cleanliness. And that's what nobody acknowledges around here, is that they've achieved much, much cleaner tailpipe, whether we're talking trucks or cars, and still we go down this path where people are gonna have much fewer choices. Instead, you have the club of government saying you have to use this kind of vehicle, and that's not gonna work for a lot of folks.
The gentleman's
I yield
time
back.
has expired.